Ito, bubuyog. Dagang nahuli sa mousetrap. Pag nalulungkot naman, gusto mo subukan?
Basically, there are three major things I'd like to say about bosses. One is how an ordinary moviegoer, but a very smart moviegoer, would look at it. Secondly, how I would use this film as a therapist who was supervising students, again very bright students, to be fellow therapists. And thirdly, as a moviegoer not only from the Philippines, but from anywhere around the world. So going back to the first thing, I think that the reason every Filipino should see Boses is because it gives us a different view of life, and it makes the healing power or the transformative power of music something that all of us can make use of. Not just the rich, not just the ones who are educated, but everybody else. And the other message is, if music can do that, and music is open to everyone, then what other things can do it that is open to everyone? Because as you know, the problem in the Philippines is that there is such a huge gap between those who are rich and those who are poor, and our view is always that those who are rich are the ones who have the capacity to improve themselves. And I think this movie is so positive because in a very realistic way, not in a touchy-feely California, as long as you think it will happen, but in a very real way. It shows that it is possible, notwithstanding how much education or how little education you have, how much family support or how little family support you have. That's why it's a wonderful movie for anyone. Now, as a psychologist, there are two things which I think really help. Which I would ask my students if they picked up. One is that I think it was wonderful that as social workers, etc., we have people who trust that the boy who felt he was ready to live with his father, they trusted the boy to make a decision that suited him and that helped him most. And number two is the fact that I think the violinist was wonderful in the sense that he loved the boy, he got to love the boy, and here you show that he wanted the boy to stay with him, which shows that the love was primal. So he wasn't acting as a social worker. He was acting as someone who really loved the boy, maybe as a father, as a brother, and we need that too. We need someone who is trained to be a psychologist to help the boy objectively and not to put their personal feelings into it. But as people, we also need to have someone who loves us beyond training, something that is so primal. And of course, it is always nice to be needed and not just to need. And here you see how the healer, the violinist, is also the one healed. No? Beautiful. And finally, I think this is a movie that will be nice for everyone to watch. Indie films are wonderful, especially how our indie filmmakers have done things within relatively limited resources. And yet, if I may make a itty-bitty, not criticism, but an area of improvement. A lot of times we seem to focus on the culture of poverty or the culture, I would not say of sexual depravity, but a feeling that, we push the envelope sexually. And while all these things are true, we are a poor nation, alas, and, the sexual possibilities in our country may seem extreme, but are the same all over the world. It would be nice for a different view of the Philippines occasionally. And I think this movie shows it in the sense that the concepts that are shared, the need to love and be loved, saying that, I will say that at the end because it's cute, it's something that not just Filipinos, but all nationalities need. And what it is the concept that, Sorry. Sex is a three-letter word that needs four-letter words to really convey its feeling. And by sex, I mean what Freud said. Not just sex, male-female or male-male, female-female, but thanatos, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, which is the joy or the need for life. And when you say sex is a three-letter word, and the four-letter words are not what you think it is, but love, give, care. That's all, and therefore, mabuhay ka, Ellen Marfil, Onkel ko, mabuhay ka for making a movie that not only you and your wonderful actors and fellow